Let me guess, you've probably heard of dropshipping and you've probably heard of AI. But how do we combine the two together? Now that's what me and a bunch of other people are doing and making lots of money from. And that's what I'm going to be revealing with you guys in this free 1-hour course. If you are someone that's searched on YouTube, get rich quick scheme, please click off the video. This is not for you. If you're someone that's serious, grab a notepad and pen and start taking notes, because what I'm about to share with you can change your life. Now there's two types of dropshipping. One is traditional dropshipping, which people used to do in like 2018, 2019, where they just do random products that were trending, for example, fidget spinners. But these wouldn't hold any emotional value. They would just be random trends and people would spend weeks building their stores, and then the next trend would come and the one that they already had would just die. So this was a good way of making profits in the short term, but it wasn't long term and sustainable. And that's why I only work with things that are evergreen. So in branded dropshipping with AI, instead of spending weeks on building our websites, we're just using AI to do that within a few minutes, using websites like Atlas AI. Any websites that I mentioned in this video, I'm going to share them in the link in the description, so be sure to check them out after. First, I start by selecting my pain point. The bigger the pain point that I solve, the more money I can make from it. So what I do is I brainstorm, I think, okay, what are different pain points that I can solve? So it might be acne, fat loss, cellulite, whatever. And then I decide which product to do based on that pain point. So once I've selected my pain point, I then go ahead and define my avatar. So what is an avatar? An avatar is a dream customer. So you want to be very specific. As I said here, specific AF. You want to think, what do they do for work? What do they do for a living? What do they do in their spare time? And you want to write all of this down. You can even make a name of that person. And the more specific you are, the better you'll do, because your ads and your landing page will be tailored to that person, because there's actually two different theories, okay? So when I first started my first store, which was acne patches, I tried to sell to everyone because I was like, okay, everyone can have acne, guys, girls, whatever, any ages. That wasn't working too well at the start. So then what I did was I started selling to girls only, because I was like, okay, they spend more money, they're more impulsive when it comes to their purchases. I was seeing slightly better results, but really not what I wanted. Then what I did after was I came across the red and blue ocean theory. So the red ocean theory was what I was doing originally, just trying to sell to the whole market. Whereas the blue ocean theory, you're carving out your own market. So that's where you pick your own avatar. And I was really specific with this. So I came down to 22 to 29-year-old young professionals, that had a job, corporate job, and they were also using dating apps like Tinder, etc. And I was really thinking like, what does this person do in their free time? Who are their friends? What do they do for hobbies, etc. So my ads and my landing pages were really specific to these people. So for example, for these acne patches for the young professionals, one of my ads was like, sick of blurring your camera for Zoom calls, sick of calling in sick to work due to unexpected flare-ups. And because I was so precise with my avatar, it was really speaking to these people, and they were just thinking, okay, wow, this is my exact issue. This must be the product for me. So my conversions were just becoming really good after that, and my click-through rate as well. Now, the beauty of this is you can do unlimited avatars, right? So for example, I started off with 22 to 29-year-old young professionals, got that to 100K a month, and then I went for the next avatar, which was 16 to 18-year-old schoolgirls who are getting bullied. Now, next we have the product selection. So what you want to do is, people think that you shouldn't choose saturated products. I like to use the word validated instead. Now you want to look using websites like Calidata to see how well these products are doing. And now, because we're not going to be competing with everyone else who's doing the red ocean theory, we're going to be doing the blue ocean theory. We don't need to worry about the product being saturated. It only means that it's validated. And because we're carving our own market, they won't be able to compete with us. So with product selection, you want to use this equation to work out your pricing. You want to do cost of goods plus shipping times 4. That is the minimum. And you should only sell products at a minimum of about $20. Otherwise, it's really not going to be worth it, trust me. And one thing that's important is these products must have upsell potential, but I will talk about that later on in the course. Now, I'm sure you guys want to make as much money as possible from this, right? So what I'm going to be talking about now is profit maximization. So there's two important variables when it comes to how much we're going to make. So one is the CAC, which is cost of acquisition. So how much does it cost me in terms of ad spend to acquire this customer? And the other variable is AOV, average order value. When these customers purchase due to my ads, how much do they spend on my website? I want that to be as high as possible, and I want the CAC to be as low as possible. Now, it's very difficult to lower the CAC, so what we can focus on is the other variable, the AOV. Now, I just want to note, guys, it's getting more and more competitive each year. The cost of Facebook ads is increasing by about 20% a year. So you've really got to get the AOV as high as possible, because they say the person that can spend the most on the ads is the one that's going to win. Now, upsell structure is something very important, okay? So we're going to be talking about bundles and then upsells and downsells. For bundles, I've got a perfect example here to show you guys, which is what I took inspiration from myself. My first store, so this website's called 4Chicks. Now, what they've done is, it's already pre-selected at 4 bottles, right? And they've said best deal because they want you to go for 4. Then if you go for 3, you'll lose one of the free gifts, because if you get 4 bottles, you get 4 free gifts. If you go for 1, you only get 1 free gift, which is the Glow Up Handbook, which I guarantee is just something made on ChatGPT. And then because you can see that the next gifts are locked, it makes you want to get more items just so you can unlock them. Now, this is a really smart way of them increasing their AOV, and it's something that I definitely recommend you guys to do as well. Now, for the upsells and downsells, now I'm going to speak off my own store that I had. One example of upsells is the bundling, right? You want them to buy more of the same product. Now, another thing that you can do is solve a problem, which in my case was acne, because I had acne patches, but then you create a new problem at the checkout. So what I was doing was, when they got to the purchase page, I was doing something called post-purchase upsells. So I was saying, Sarah, wait, your order is only half complete. Did you know that 90% of customers are left with visible scarring? Get this scar healing oil for 30% off now only. Now, this was working out so well because once someone purchases, they're in the most prime state to purchase even more, just because of the dopamine and everything that's released. And then what I was doing after is I was doing another upsell. So your upsells can be worth 10 times more than the cost of the original product. So for example, my acne patches were £23, right? So I was selling these red light therapy masks for £250, because another thing is you can do upsells if they're going to get the person to the same result either quicker or easier. Now in my case, it was doing both of those. It was getting them clearer skin quicker and easier. So all they have to do, they put that mask on for 10 minutes. And there's also added benefits too, because it prevents wrinkles, etc. Now some people would add this to their cart, right? Let's say that's an extra 10% of people. 10% of £250, which is £25, added to my AOV. So now I've boosted that massively, right? I've just doubled that. And then you can add another £20 for the scar healing oil. Now, if they would say no to that, I would hit them with a downsell. I would show them the same mask for £150. So that's £100 off. So if they've said no before, they're probably going to say yes now. So I'm adding £150 in these cases to the average order value. And for another store that I had, I was having a total of 7 upsells. Now that was a funnel via funnelish, which has some advantages because you can really do a lot more upsells. Whereas with Shopify, limited to about 2 or 3. Now for web design, I want to show you guys this other mirror board, okay? Keep it simple, stupid. Higher conversion rate comes from the right offer, psychology-based marketing, social proof or trust, being professional, right? So here, what you want to do with the images, you want to have just kind of a product photo, then a UGC, so someone using it, lifestyle, benefits, before and afters. So here you can see, take it to the first image is this one, then they have someone using it, and then they have a bunch of before and afters that are quite professional, okay? Now here we have the hero section. So this is all seen before you have to scroll. It's the most important part. So you've got your social proof here. Let me just show you guys on the website how they've done it. Social proof, so they've got the reviews. At the start, you can just kind of make that up. You know, I shouldn't be saying that, but you can. And these are the kind of things that you've got to do. Otherwise, you won't be able to keep up with other people that are willing to do this stuff. And then you've got the title. But what's more important about the title is actually the desired outcome and benefit bullet points. So here they've got the title of the product, and then they've got their offer. Save up to 56% today plus 4 free gifts. Now you guys can use the exact same offer with yours. Here they've got the outcome and then in how long. So let me take you guys to Alex Hormozy's value equation just whilst we're on this. Dream outcome plus perceived likelihood of achievement over time delay times effort and sacrifice, okay? That gives you the value. So we want to make the value as big as possible, so it seems stupid for them not to buy from us, right? So the dream outcome, let me take you guys here, is fuller and healthier eyelashes. Now the perceived likelihood of achievement, we can do this by giving them guarantees. They've said after 12 weeks of use, I like to do 30-day money-back guarantees, and then that's divided by the time delay. So in this case, they've said in 30 days, right? Times the effort and sacrifice. So what do they have to do? I'm not a girl, but they have to just roll this product for 30 seconds, maybe in the morning, then in the evening. So that really doesn't take much effort. If I want to give you guys another example about time delay and effort and sacrifice, let me compare weight loss, right? Or fat loss. Now the time delay, if you're going to go to the gym and follow a strict meal plan, whatever, it might be months or years. If you do liposuction, that's same day. The effort and sacrifice of liposuction is a lot less, right? Compared to going to the gym, having a strict diet. That's why people will spend 5 figures on getting liposuction compared to spending nothing to go to the gym on, just the price of a gym membership. Now here they've got the offer bundles to increase the AOV, which we mentioned before, value stacking as well, which is the free gifts, right? Now these free gifts don't really cost anything, but they increase the perceived value a lot. Here they've got urgency because they're saying in stock, limited units available, clear call to action. You only want to have one call to action. So here they've said add to cart. You should stick to that throughout, right? And you've got the payment icons because if you're doing this with Shopify, it shows up. Press mention, social proof. You can just copy these if you want. It just makes it seem like you have social proof. When your store does get bigger, you do have to be careful just in case they do take legal action on you. And now here they've said what babes like you are saying. So they've adapted their landing page to their target market, or should I say their avatar, because mine said what young professionals like you are saying, right? I didn't say babes because that's more more childish and didn't appeal to my target audience. And then they've just got some UGC, which is people using the product. Now you can just get TikTok videos and put them in just to start off. Here they've got the value proposition and description. What you can do is you can put this into Claude AI. You can tell it your desired avatar and you can copy and paste this and tell it to do the same for you. Now, one thing that these guys could do better is here they've said buy now and here they've said get yours now. The call to action should be consistent throughout. Now the USP and description, you don't need to do this, but you can if you want. And now you can just go to Claude AI like here. I've got one of my chats there, whatever, and you can just use it to do the same. And then they've got before and afters. This is proof that it works. Day 1, day 30, you can even have written reviews with it as well. Now here they've got some features like to show how their product works. You know, why is their product better than others? We'll be talking about here in the how we compare. So they're saying theirs is painless, whereas the other ones aren't. Now FAQs, most people think that's just frequently asked questions, but this is actually a great way of objection handling. So what you want to do is you want to think of the different objections people could have at the checkout that are going to stop them ordering, and you could answer them here. Now you can just get ChatGPT to help you. Please help me make FAQs that are also objection handling, and you can do that quite easily. I really do recommend you paying £20 a month or whatever it is, because honestly it's going to help you a lot with this stuff. Now here they've got more UGC picks. UGC is just user generated content. You can do that by just sending out your item for free to people. And then they've got reviews here as well, and then the footer should just look nice and professional, just like this. Okay, now so you've got your web design sorted. Now for fulfillment, I actually went to China at the start of the year, so I do have a really good private supplier. If you want access to this person, just message me and you get my nice good rates. Just message me the word private supplier on Instagram and I will get that sent over to you, because most beginners use something called Zendrop or other agencies which take really high fees, whereas mine gives me much better rates. I can just send any item, they'll source for me, the shipping time is quicker, and you really do want a supplier based from China, just because obviously that's going to be the cheapest, and you do want to maximize your profits, and it's quite effortless for me as well because they just have admin access to my Shopify, so they're integrated, so I don't even need to worry about the orders. They just fulfill them every day, so it's really hassle free for me, and I just need to think about getting new orders. Now for ads, we have two types, statics and VSLs. Now for ads, we have two types, statics and VSLs. Statics are just image ads and VSLs are video sales letters. Now I really do recommend static ads at the start, just because you can really pump them out quickly. I have a guy in Pakistan that makes static ads for me for $1.50 per ad. So I literally just get him to do 5 a day for each store that I have. And literally that's very cheap and I can pump them out so quickly. And also, I'm not doing that. I like to outsource stuff for cheap. You can take advantage of countries like India, Pakistan, Philippines, even to help you making your website, for example, if you don't want to just do it on Atlas AI. Like I said, all these links will be in the description. Now, if you do want this guy that does my static ads for me, just text me the word static on Instagram and I will get that sent over to you. Now, what I like to do for these static ads is I really want them to blend in with the rest of the app. So if my ad is a Facebook ad, I want it to just seem like something native to Facebook. I don't want anything clear or some crazy graphic design with loads of captions. So what I can literally do is grab this image and then you can put it into something called Higgsfield AI. I'm going to include that website in the description. You just drag the image and it will turn it into an AI image. So it's going to look very similar, but you won't have any copyright issues. And that's great. It can make you different variations. You can give instructions like make it so that there's even less hair, etc. Or make it a middle-aged man, whatever you want, you can tell it to do. And now for VSLs, I've got a guy that makes me videos using Creatify. So Creatify is the best one for me. HeyGen is another AI website for this, but the lip sync really isn't good. And if you do want to get better lip sync stuff and better voices, you can use 11 Labs. But for me, I just found Creatify is the best one for me. So what I did is I sent over my login to an Indian editor and he just makes different VSLs for me. I just give him the script. And if you want to take it to another level, they can make the script for you. But I like to be in control of that because the script is quite important, because that's what's going to convert at the end of the day. Now I've said here, importance of reinvesting the profit, because let's say you put £100 into your ads at the start, right? And it makes you £400, £500. Some people can just, let's say when they get to 100K, just spend it on a Lamborghini straight away. They're going to lose to someone like myself who reinvest their profits, because when I get that £400 or £500, I keep putting that in and then I end up spending £5,000 a day on ads, for example. And those other people that just take out their cash and get greedy, they can't compete with us. So I do advise you to do the same. Just keep reinvesting your profit, and that's what's going to determine your success with this, because it does come down to financial discipline. And that's why the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor, because the poor people are not financially disciplined and they'll just get excited that they made a lot of money quickly and they won't be putting it back into their business. Now, the last point that I've said here is building to sell. One thing that I do recommend is you don't need to worry about it at the start, but after, you do need to have, like a good Instagram page, TikTok page, whatever, and lots of UGC content. So you want to send your products out to influencers, and you do want to hold these stores for about 6 to 12 months, because the longer you've had the store, the higher the valuation will be. You can either sell your store through private equity firms, or I do also have a friend that is a broker, and he just takes a small commission, and he does sell stores through him and his website. So if you are looking to do this, just message me and I can give you all the details that you would need. Now, if there's any things that I mentioned here that you want me to go in more detail in, whether that's the static ads, for example, just let me know in the comments below, and I'll get a separate video made on them just so I can go in detail and you guys can really understand everything. Well done, you made it this far to the video. That just shows me that you're serious. Maybe you're doing exactly what I said, which is taking notes. Maybe you've even taken some of those keywords and maybe you've sent me a DM on Instagram. For example, the word static, to have access to the same guy that does my static ads. Now, I'll be honest, guys, it might seem quite easy, everything that I've said in the video, but honestly, if it was easy, then everyone would be doing this. This is something called branded dropshipping with AI. It's something very new, and it is the new big thing that everyone's going to get onto, because everyone knows that AI is the future, but they don't know how to use it. Traditional dropshipping is dead, but I'm telling you, branded dropshipping with AI, this is the future. You should get in now and make that perfect store. For example, an acne patches, whatever you want to do, or maybe something for hair loss. You need to get in and make that store and, be the figurehead in that industry, so everyone buys from your store rather than someone else beating you to it and taking action quicker than you. Because whilst you're probably thinking about this idea, someone else is just going to take action and make that winning store, and they're going to take all the upside. Now, I'll be honest, guys, when I started, I burnt loads of money on ads, literally thousands on Facebook ads, because I thought there was an issue with Facebook, but it was actually because my ads were terrible. And just because they looked all pretty, I thought they should perform well, but Facebook and the metrics that it gives me, they're the ones who tell the truth. If you want to avoid all the months that I lost on this and all the thousands spent on ad spend so you don't have to make the same mistakes, and you want someone to hold your hand step by step throughout the process, message me on Instagram, the word e-commerce, and I'll see if you're the right fit for me. And if I think you are, then I'll help you get started step by step so you don't have to make the same mistakes that I did. And I can guarantee that you make great results and you're very successful, because I know the mistakes and you won't have to do them yourself. And it'll save you a lot of time. People can make tens of thousands within just a few weeks of starting. So if you're someone who's serious and you have a few thousand to start with, because I'll be honest, these ads are not free, DM me the word e-commerce on Instagram and we'll see if you're a good fit for me and we'll get started. Thanks for watching the video, guys.